Hey, this could be exculpatory. I don't think it is, but just in case you guys think it is, when you sign this, let's just forget that you read that part, okay? Are you serious right now? Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. As I mentioned in my community post, I've been trying for a while now to try to figure out exactly when it was that Bryan Kohberger was actually being claimed by law enforcement as the suspect in the Idaho 4 case. And I honestly don't know if I even have it right. But the thing is, when I was going through everything, I discovered something. I knew about it, okay? I knew about this detail, but for some reason, my brain didn't focus on a lot of the verbiage in this specific detail. And then while I was reading it, I remembered receiving an email from a viewer about this. I can't remember who. I wanted to get this video out there, so I'm sorry for not giving out your specific thank you, but you know who you are once you get to the part of the video where this is talked about. It's really interesting, and the verbiage used is extremely important to me, and I am rambling because I don't know what else to say, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. On 12/29/22 is whenever both the arrest and the search warrants were written. Neither one of the warrants written by Blaker or Payne ask for the DNA supplemental discovery to be excluded. So explain to me why Dawn Daniels actually did take it upon herself to exclude the DNA in the warrants that WSU's police force had a judge sign. And the verbiage is all right here. I'm going to pull it up right now. In the information that was written by Dawn Daniels when it came to the warrants for the search of Bryan Kohberger's apartment and office at WSU, she basically had to go in here and rewrite it after receiving the information before then giving it to their judge in their district to have it signed. This is my biggest issue with all of this. When she writes in the information for the supplemental disclosure for DNA test, the very first sentence is, "I have been informed by Detective J.R. Talbot of the Idaho State Police that on November 13th of 22, a sheath was recovered at the King Road residence under or next to the body of Madison Mogan. The Idaho State Crime Lab obtained a male DNA profile, suspect profile, from the sheath. This information is being provided to the court pursuant to my duty and obligation to be fully candid with the court. I do not believe this information is exculpatory for the suspect. However, if the court believes it is exculpatory, then the court should consider this supplemental disclosure in its evaluation of the existence of probable cause or lack thereof. I am specifically asking the court to not consider the supplemental disclosure as evidence supporting the existence of probable cause. The reason for this request is that if the DNA test results are held inadmissible at some point, such a ruling would not impact the finding of probable cause for this warrant, so long as this court is satisfied as to the probable cause regardless of the DNA test result." So explain to me why someone at WSU that is supposed to be just helping on a case would then take it upon herself after having personal knowledge given to her by someone at ISP that there is a chance that this DNA genealogical testing might end up not being admissible in court, i.e. not being filed as admissible evidence, i.e. filing the motion of limine in order to not have it actually presented as evidence. So they knew. Does this not tell you right here that something is fishy as shit when it comes to this genealogical testing and how they had eyes on Kohberger and how they even got these results whenever they are claiming these kind of details and stating these kinds of statements before they even have cuffs on him? Why are we seeing from someone who is at WSU and not in Moscow, about how they are taking it upon themselves to tell the court, hey, this could be exculpatory. I don't think it is, but just in case you guys think it is, when you sign this, let's just forget that you read that part, okay? Are you serious right now? And let's also not forget the little fact that came out whenever I did my video on Don Daniels about how the only 3 pieces of actual blood evidence that was found in Brian Kohberger's apartment was then mishandled for 10 days. It wasn't left with the rest of the things that were taken in. It wasn't left with the evidence list on the couch inside of Brian Kohberger's apartment after the search was over. It was taken and handled by Don Daniels until 10 days later, when she then met up with Ann Taylor and the rest of the defense team at Brian Kohberger's apartment. And then, and only then, was the DNA evidence and its information handed over. What's up with Don Daniels, y'all? When I read this verbiage, I knew it had to be important because of the dates. That's why it's important to take everything that they have given us chronologically and put it together in its correct order. This makes no sense that before they even have cuffs on him, they are already talking about how this just might not be admissible in court at some point. You know that this is basically them protecting themselves from the fruit of the poisonous tree, right? And for those of you that might not understand what that is, that basically means that if there is anything during an investigation that they find was obtained and collected illegally, some protocol was broken, some protocol was not followed, something went wrong, then anything that stems from that search and anything thereafter is null and void and cannot be considered evidence. There has got to be a very special reason why this is happening right now, and why the verbiage of it happening was already premeditated. Am I wrong?